Like, I hated my mother. I was like, why even bring me into this world if you know, like, I will come and suffer. At class 6, I had my own classroom by myself because I was just weird. Nilikuwa na chapa watu. There's a chick who alikuwa na nywele, she had long hair, natural, nikakata nywele yake.
At all this time, what is the conversation between your dad and your mom?
So basically at this point, even when I went to stay with my dad, my mom and dad do not talk. They're not talking till date. I was a dark child with a lot of hair. Ameza a monster. And then my aunties came to see me and I'm like, guy, like you have a very ugly child. And that's how mamangu alihepa. I don't want to raise my children on ugali and tea only. And that is why I have to work extra hard.
And of course, the Caribbean Center. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Lessons 30. My name is the Eagle himself, the Duke of Kakamega. Dr.Ofweneke is my name. And of course, asanteni sana. We started from episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we are 13. And my goodness, what is God doing with this show? God is just doing his work. And he's just using us as vessels. Lives are getting changed. The feedback is amazing. Guys are getting lessons. And I thought this was just going to be nilifutwa baki on comment sections za TikToks, the Instagrams, the YouTube as well. But I'm meeting guys on the streets who tell me, Ofweneke, we are watching Lessons 30 and we are loving the beautiful stories and the lessons that are coming out of the guests that you bring on the show. So as usual, please get your pen and paper. This, and I keep on telling you guys, this is not a gossip show. Please, if you're coming to look for, I don't know what to guest, this is where we come to learn. This is a lecture room. It is not a gossip show. Be very keen. So ukifungwa hii show ukiweka subscribe wewe lazima tu acha nisikie chai. If we end up on the blogs trending, then somebody will learn something. But that is not the agenda. The agenda is you that has liked, you that has subscribed to the YouTube channel. What are you going to learn out of this show? I want to appreciate my past guest from Robert Burali last episode, Getu Mungai, Willis Waburu, Kidum, YY, Lucy Natasha, among the rest, asanteni sana. But today, now of course, before we continue, by the way, Arsenal najua tunapitia kakitu sijui nini inafanyika, but of course we still have hope. We are going strong. And of course, remember, Lessons 30 is proudly powered by Maybets and your best. This is the only most fastest online betting company. Of course, I will search you out on the best returns. And of course, this is how you get to bet on the squeeze bar right there. And you love my shoes, I know you love my trousers, you love my top, you love how I look. All this, I have been beautified, I've been handsomized by the one and only Adidas Collections. Give them a call if you're a man, a casual look, a suit, a semi-casual shirts, shoes, everything, cologne, watches, everything. Just go to Adidas Collections. Make a call right now and place your order, and deliveries are done across the country. Tonight, I'm hosting one of the top influencers in the region, not in Kenya, in the region right now. This girl is a top actress. She has graced our TVs right from the days of Tahiti High until today, and she just doesn't seem to stop. And of course, one thing I love about her, apart from her being a top influencer, a top actress, events host, ladies and gentlemen, one of the things that I love and admire about her is the fact that she's my alter ego. She puts things straight as it is. I don't like you. I don't like you. Unanibo. I used to think it's a character on Tahiti High, only to realize, oh my God, it's actually who she really is. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on Dr. Ofweneke tonight, the one and only Jacky Matubia. Welcome to the show. Give you a high five.
Thank you.
I don't know if you back like you did na kwake tu. Tutazi edit pale Morini weka pale edit. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
You have one of the most iconic laughters ever.
Yeah, so bad.
It's so bad. Akimademe wetu waje kupatunga compliment. Ati unakaa poa nimeambiwa asubuhi.
Oh yes, I've had. I find it very. I don't like my laugh, but apparently people like my laugh. So
Why
Yeah.
would you, what is it about yourself that also that you don't like apart from the laughter?
Too loud.
You think you're too loud
I'm too loud.
in
I'm too
everything?
loud. Well. Lessons at 30.
Karibu sana. Thank you so much for
much.
gracing us, of
Thank
course,
you
with
so
your
much for having
warmth.
me. Thank
Asanteni
you so
sana.
much.
Asante sana. I really don't take this for I don't take this for granted. I've been very keen on inviting my friends who are really close to me, but not because they are easy to reach, but also because being close to my friends means I understand their journey and their story.
Yeah.
And you have such a beautiful story. And you just keep winning every single day.
I thank God.
When today the blogs wake up and try to kill who we think you are, you give us around 1 week and you hit us with another one.
Yeah.
Let me just ask. The first time we met, I think we met as System Unit.
Yes.
Back in the days.
Back in that was 2018.
2018, yes.
Ooh.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Guy, that's a long
time
our
ago.
friendship almost deserves an ID.
No, actually not 2018, 2008.
2000. But I met you earlier.
2000. You met me earlier when you came to our school.
Gosh. I feel like everybody's always in a constant struggle to make me feel so old. I don't like it.
I know.
Confession. The other day, my wife asks me, who's your celebrity crush?
Yeah.
Then I realized I've never had a celebrity crush in the industry. See, because all the beautiful ladies around the industry are my friends.
Yeah.
And the closer you get, the more the crush just dies. They normally say the secret behind maintaining a crush, don't ever meet them. But I know, man, Jacky on Tidy High, my goodness. Oh, the attitude and the drama as like, so damn. You damn, akajomindo dawa yake, neza mtuliza, na hiyo attitude yake actually. How does Jacky get on Tidy High?
Jacky actually got Tidy High when she was just barely 18. She just cleared high school in November. And at the end of, because I remember the November 8th is when I finished my high school. Then November actually at the end, at the mwisho wa mwezi, ndio I was given a call. And it was funny. You remember back in the day when tulikuwa tunapiga simu Kiss 100?
Yes.
Uimbe. Upewe 1,000.
Aki hata unaibu.
I swear. So apparently, when I was in Form 4, before I sat for my KCSE, the likes of Tahidi, Crew, Morgan, they came to our school and everyone asked who's going to talk, who's going to pray for us, so everyone was like, I used to be called Jacky Celeb at high school. So everyone was like, Jacky Celeb. So I went, I prayed, and then we did our play.
Wait, hold it.
Yeah, but there. At Form 2, when I was in Form 2, at Form 1, she was called Joyce. She came. She was no allowed to CU. She was head of CU, and I would want to say she she prophesied. She came. She told me, "Wewe ni Jacky Celeb," and that's how Jacky Celeb grew around school, and that's how now everyone started calling me at Form 2 Jacky Celeb, and it went until I was in Form 4. And so when I was there, we did our play, and Morgan called me at the end. She was like, "Here's my number. Call me once you're done with high school." I was like, cool. So ulikuwa unaandikiwa teacher sikupate kwa staff room umepewa number na guest. So hiyo karatasi of course ilipotea. So I really believed in my head. I believed I had an amazing voice to sing because nilikuwa kwa drama festival. And so I called Kiss 100 to sing. Funny enough, I got it. I got the 1K. So they got my number from them, from Shafi and Kaleche. And that's when I was called. So when I was called, I was told, "Hi, please come to..." And then at that time, just the same time, I was I was in the cover of Insider magazine. And so Morgan was like, "This is the girl I was telling you." She was telling the producer, "This is the girl I was telling you. She's really good. She's really good." So they looked for my number, Kiss 100. They called me. I went, and my producer just looked at me like this, and she said, "Edo kanunue uniform." And that's how I would say
Oh,
I
Teddy,
started.
you guys used to go and buy the uniforms
Yeah,
yourself.
so you buy
It
uniform.
was literally a school system.
Yeah, kabisa unanunua viatu, unanunua socks, unanunua everything. You go buy and then now you come. So I stayed like for, I would say like for a year without a name. Kazi ilikuwa, unaambia wazazi wako, mama unaona ile skati imepita. That's me. Because we never had an identity. That time it was Akina Tanya, Akina OJ. They were the ones in front of the camera. And then now it was a chance to be in front of the camera. And it was such a big privilege to just get a script that umepewa jina, a character. When I say jina, I mean a character. Umepewa character and you have a whole full script. Because we were just going to school to just bam. Unaambia, aya, piteni hapa, extras, piteni hapa, pita, yeah. And so it was such an honor. And I remember I was shaking. I was like, yani ilikuwa hata siyo kupita. Now you're officially Jolene.
This is your role.
Yeah, now you're, hi, so your new name is going to Jolene and here is the script. And at first I was scared because I was like, I wanted to be the Kaswinyo, like, but looking at my life in high school, I was a bad girl. So I was like, okay. And I'm grateful that Kenyans really, like walikuja waka embrace that character and it grew in me. And yeah, I'd say fast forward, life happened. I met a man, fell in love with a man, and I got pregnant. And that's actually the reason I left Tahidi. Tahidi, ni wewe ulikuwa unajitoa.
I mean, ukipata ball.
So,
I mean, how we having teenage pregnancy in high school.
Yeah, so I remember my producer really didn't want to let me go, but I was like, no, I can't fit in my skirts. Ball yangu inaonekana. It doesn't make sense. So, and through God's grace, I transitioned into, just when I was pregnant, I transitioned into a TV host. And so, actually before, so as I was doing Tahidi, nilikuwa bado pia nafanya internship at Citizen TV. So I was doing news, I was doing any show that comes, unapewa, tunaitwa, kuja job, nini. So through that, I was given a show called Extreme. So Creme de la Creme was hosting Extreme. And so I was the assistant producer. And so one day, he didn't show up. When he didn't show up, my producer came and she was like, so you've been producing this show for almost a year now. And then you unampeanga questions, ingia pale. Hey, I've never been nervous. I didn't have anything to wear. Because I think I have a picture. Yani nilikimbia home, nikachukua nguo ya kitenge. That's the only dress I had.
The hell?
That's the only dress I had. Alafu nywele.
Hiyo ilikuwa nguo ya wedding show. Haikuwa ya kitenge on Extreme.
Imagine umeambiwa, I don't even know what to wear. And then my hair was open. Nikaishika hivi ka beehive. Unajua back in the day, the style ilikuwa beehive. Unainua kanywele hivi kanakuja alafu naeka tu pins up. It was
to pencil to HB.
Nitawapatia hii picha muieke. And so that was my first day at work. And my producer loved it. And that's how I became a co-host to Creme de la Creme. So I did Extreme. Then after Extreme, when I got pregnant, I was taken by Ibru TV. We were with you at Ibru. Yeah, I did Ibru again, another entertainment show. And then I went to give birth. And then life now there, ikagonga
tusiende haraka sana. And so far, I'm learning a story of being at the right place at the right time.
Yes.
Because opportunity comes.
Yes.
And it's only going to find those ones who are ready.
Exactly.
But then again, unanembo ulikuwa bad girl. High school.
Baby, I was a bad girl.
What is bad girl?
Bad girl is, now that I am grown, it was trauma. It was trauma of how I grew up. Being raised by my mom and partially by my dad, then partially by, so I have rejection. Like for me, even now, I'm still dealing with rejection. So what happened is, I lived with my dad in London, then come back, live with your mom at Kongwaru.
Wait. You lived in London?
Yeah, I lived in London.
How's it my past episode? And today I'm just doing with London people. Sorry, from now onwards, we're doing London, US and above. Guys of your stories and Kariobangi, not on lessons. Now we're doing Schengen visas and, so London. You grew up in London?
Yeah, I grew up in London for about almost 6 years with my dad. And then so, coming back, it was another culture shock because now my mom...
Why did you come back?
I came back because in the Kenyan law, the mother is the custodian of the child and then the child. Yeah, so my mom fought that and I had to come back. And now coming back, umezoea to be homeschooled, red chicken. For y'all who live in the UK, y'all know how sweet red chicken. Yani life was good. And then now unakuja ungwaro 4656.
Beba. The hell?
Bed sitter. Madhe ameigawanya hivi na kati. No, back in the days tulikuwa tunagawanya rooms na kakate na kashia. And life was, I would say that's when I was a cocoon. Like I kept to myself and I was just bad. I was just a bad girl. Because I felt like if I open up to you, because the more, like for me, I felt like Nikki, open up to someone, they start liking me, they will eventually leave. You know what I'm saying? They will eventually leave. So I protected myself at all costs. And because of this fight of back and forth with my parents, so now the big culture shock is my dad is moneyed. So watanilipia shule expensive. But sometimes shule, I interact with girls who and boys who are from rich. So I was at Lavington Primary. So when I La Vie, Westini, ni wewe unaenda 4656. You get? So usiku mnakula ugali na maziwa unalala. Au unabeba ile chai unakumbuka kale kanini ka green
Kalayon.
You ndo unabeba au their drivers are dropping them food for lunch. They're going to the canteen. You get? So it was very crazy for me growing up because I was trying to understand what did I do to my father for him to let me just come and live this kind of life, and we were living a good life. So anyway, so I was weird. I was a very weird girl.
On the flight from London coming back to Kenya, were you alone or dad came? Or
No. So my dad was there. So we came with my auntie. So it's like, oh no, we're just going to say hi to mom and then we'll come back. So
you didn't know. You didn't know that mom
I didn't know. These are things now I knew after high school. Actually, as a matter of fact, because back you know, our parents walikuwa watu hawaongei. Autajua what is happening. Utaamka upigwe for no reason. You know, like we didn't know what they were thinking.
I came to know that the mom that I've known, who and we love each other till today, I came to know that the mom that has raised me up
is not true.
It's not my mom. In class 5.
Imagine.
I'm like, what the hell? Like,
Imagine.
Dad, you've been here the whole goddamn time. Like, nigga should have told me that I'm not Kamba. I'm not Luya Kamba. I am Luya Luo. So I get the pain.
Yeah.
And this is, I've come to understand, this is why I don't judge my mom and my dad anymore. I came to understand, they also probably didn't know because they also came from their own generation trauma
exactly
at that time.
Exactly. And you see, all this time as we are growing, we do not know it's trauma. As we when look, for me, like personally, I hated my mother. Like I hated my mother. I was like, why even bring me into this world if you know, like I will come and suffer? So I really hated my mom. And so that nini, I had my own class. At class 6, I had my own classroom by myself because I was just weird. Nilikuwa na chapa watu. There's a chick who alikuwa na nywele, she had long hair, natural, nikakata nywele yake. Yani I was just a weird child. I know there's one I met in town and she was like, I can't believe you're now a celebrity. I was not talking. I didn't want anyone near me. I was just weird. And so in class 6, I only had that. So mwalimu angetoka 6 West, akuje 6 North kunisomesha peke yangu. Na nikisikia nimeboeka nambe, can I go to the toilet? Of course atasema no. Najua hivyo ndio lesson imeisha. Jua hivyo ndio mimi nimeenda. I won't come back. Teachers would find me walking around the nini kiwanja tu peke yangu. I was just a weird child.
And all this time, what is the conversation between your dad and your mom? I mean, it's not later coming to know.
So basically at this point, even when I went to stay with my dad, my mom and dad do not talk. They're not talking till date. I'm 34 years and they have never even seen each other eye to eye. And so rejection starts from when my mom gave birth to me. Because my mom went to Pumwani, gave birth to me. And when she saw me, because I was a dark child with a lot of hair. Ameza a monster. And then my aunties came to see me and I'm like, guy, like you have a very ugly child. And that's how mamangu alihepa. So for 3 months, nilikuwa Pumwani. A childless child. A nameless child just there. You get, so rejection has been, it's like I was born into rejection. So it has been something that it's in me. So for me, growing up, it was so weird. And I would say I thank my mom for stepping up and putting her foot down when she said high school. So my dad has money. He wants to pay for private schools. I go to a high school. He was even ready to pay. I go to Alliance. Na sina max za Alliance. Kwa uko mwisho ningekuwa nashika hapo nini uko nashika DE, you know, hizo ndo zingekuwa zangu. Because I mean, I had 256
in KCP.
Hata nilikushinda. Unataka 256 unataka kupeleka mtoto amepata watoto wamepata 400 na unashika huko hii.
Where's the material science congress?
No, I am not. And so my mom was like, no. We have to take her to a school where for her marks. And I was taken to Gatherimo primary school, secondary school, and I was happy because it was like another jail, but unaona uleti snacks. So we are all equal. And I felt like we are all equal. Because when you tengea shule na vitabu hivyo ndo utatoka. Like, hakuna isijui ati blue band, biscuits. And so that's where I learned Swahili. That's where I learned Kikuyu. That's why I learned opening up to other people and realizing, baby, I'm not the only one who's going through this. Because when you're chilling with kids who they've been dropped by their drivers, they've been picked, they've been born. Unajua we maisha yako ni baya. Yako ni bure.
Barabara mnachania pale Amboseli.
But now when you sit down and unaongea unasikia watu they have slept without eating. They prefer being at school more because they are eating. You get what I'm saying? Like mtu alikuwa anasikia anafukuzwa hana school fees anajificha because they prefer being at school. They are safe at school because of their parents, because of their dad, because of their uncle. You know, such stories. And I was like, I'm not alone because I felt like I'm suffering. I felt like my mom is punishing me for something I did not do, for just to just exist. And so in high school is when I met so many of my friends who had different stories. And it was fun. And that's how I interacted. I started now, letting go. And also drama really helped me. In primary school, swimming, running was my thing. Was the only thing that I felt like I belong. It's the only place I felt like I belong. And so when it came to high school, hakuna swimming, hakuna hizi vitu zingine because ni shule ushago. So there was drama. And so I felt like drama was my safe space, So for me, because of growing on to that, sijazoea kuambiwa kitu. I think I am right. So Kenya unaniambia, I don't care kama wewe ni form 4. So that's how I was a bag. Like I was the first form 1 to uproot a tree. Because hiyo ndio punishment nimepewa because I have talked back to the head girl.
As you continue this interview, I am just finding it a little bit dangerous that I actually call you an alter ego because it's like it's a script that has just been flipped. I was born in Mathare. At least yours was for 3 months. At least mine was for 1 day.
Yeah.
Because madhangu alivunja thamos. So akaambiwa ende Isili atafute thamos. And at times maybe na mimi si mtoto wa mamangu. Labda alikuja akamwambia tu chagua.
What you want.
And I think for me it's all the way, because even for me I think I really faced a lot of that because I came back to staying with my parents when I was in around class 7, class 8. So in between again I battled the same thing because now you come from Nairobi, you find yourself in the village, now you have to stop wearing shoes because nobody's wearing shoes. Who the hell do you think you are?
Exactly, yeah.
Alafu Friday na beba mafia ngombe ni ya kutengeneza class. So when you speak about these things, I'm like, it's interesting how this comes and affects our later life.
Exactly.
And
the choices we make. Yes, because for me, I used to, half of the class, half of the people I called my friends, the ones I felt safe with, wanafukuzwa school fees. Me, I used to hide my checks. Nafukuzwa now.
Wait, ulikuwa nalipa school fees na check?
Si ni babangu.
I think kumwani tu ndo tumerelate.
Kumwani hapo ndo tunarelate.
Sini watu mwalimu nipatie 1 week. Kuna watu wa kulipa shule school fees na mgorogoro ya mahindi wana. So you'd hide
So I would hide the check so that I go home with them. So when I get home, of course my mom doesn't have any jurisdiction in paying school fees. So I'll be like, auntie didn't give me the check that dad sent. So I'll stay at home. So she's like, okay, sawa. We will wait. So she will come and say, oh, I went to Afia Center. I called auntie. Auntie told me she brought the check. So I'm ready to go back to school on Monday. And that's how I would skip school. So I feel like I belong to them. And so when I joined Tahidi, I was still, I was like,
so holding.
Yes, I'm still holding myself, because I would say my biggest nini was wanting to belong. Because all my life, I felt like I haven't belonged.
You're out of place.
I'm
everywhere.
out of place, because I felt like, so in Tahidi, I would say I wanted to belong. And I'm grateful I got the best crowd, because we know some of our Tahidi people have, wameanguka na vitu mingi sana. And I'm grateful for the crowd that I need. But one thing I think, plus also, my main focus was I wanted to live now my life. I wanted to tell my story. I wanted to be my story now. Not I'm leaving Ungwaro, not because my mama said, now I want to live in a good place. So now you see, for me, is after high school, after midterm, sikuwa naenda Ungwaro, nilikuwa naenda kwa auntie yangu Nyayo. Unagesa what I'm get? Akila wani ni Nyayo ama ni Madarakta. So very nice homes, stairs. And I used to tell Njoki, one day, I will live in such a house. One day, I will drive such a car. And I'm grateful. Sometimes in life, you need those people. Because for me, I was like, I am done living in Ungwaro. Ungwaro is not a place where I will... Nataka kukua kama watoi, nisiketa mimi venye nasikianga, kuishi kwa nyumba iko na stairs. For me, that was such a big... And having a big couch and having a big TV... It might sound funny, but those were the things that were driving me. Having my own money. My auntie was a single mother, and I would see that woman till date. She's now almost 70, and she travels the world. And I was like, I want to be that woman. I want to travel the world. I want to buy. Nikitaka kitu, I don't have to come and explain to my mom, so my mom can explain to my stepdad, nipewe pesa. You get what I'm saying? Like, I have to go. Like, I want to go. Nikiona hii kikombe, by then tanunua. And for me, that was my drive. That was my drive.
Were there siblings in it? Because now that you mentioned a stepdad,
yes.
Were there siblings in?
Yes. So my mom got married to my stepdad, who I love so much with all my heart and soul, Mr. Mwangi. And so Mr. Mwangi, they got 2 sons and 2 of my brothers. And so when I was young, I felt... So the brother, mwenye amenifuata, he was autistic. So he is autistic. So I felt like wanampatia so much attention that they forget me. So I will not lie, when I got my first paycheck, I will never forget, it was 70,000. And this is in 2009 now. Nilienda, the first thing I bought was a microwave for my mom. Because my dad used to wake my mom in the middle of... Na hiyo kitu ilikuwa inaniirritate. So unajua, niko na brothers wawili wanalala kwa bedroom moja, sasa mimi nalala sitting room. So akikuja, mimi naamshwa nifungue mlango. Alafu namuona naingia kwa bedroom yake, amshe madhe amuomie chakula. You get? So ilikuwa inani-irritate. So I said, the first thing I'll do is buy a microwave. And so my second salary is when I told my mom, aya, adios. Mimi nimeisha. Hii mambo ya kulala sitting room, mimi naenda kuishi kwa nyumba yangu.
So
nilihamia, my first house was Imara Daima.
Girl.
Yani I wanted to go away. Yani staketa mamangu akininusa hivi asema acha niende kwa Jacky. I really wanted to be away and away and away. And I vowed to myself, sitaanza na bed sitter, because bed sitter ilikuwa inanikumbusha kulala chini, vile nalala chini kwa room ya madhe, sitting room ya madhe. Nikajambia mimi naanza na 1 bedroom. And that's what I did. I lived in Maradaima, 1 bedroom, a very nice 1 bedroom. Ilikuwa 7th floor. Lakini shida yetu ilikuwa ya nini kuishi 7th floor? Hizo stairs, Joe.
At your time, the idea ni kuishi kwa nyumba. As long as I have my own place. Me, I found myself in Kangemi, Kenya, 1,500. But I was like, as long as
your own room.
Life kanikalia bado nikarudi home. I was like, done. Then nimetry kitu. Kitu si rahisi.
Inakata.
Nifungulie. Wacha nitoke tena. So kutoka at least kaingia ka bed sitter tena sasa kazuri sasa kibich. Anza ndo nikayamia umo. You're lucky that you didn't pass through umo. Umo ni ritual.
Funny enough, I did not, because for me you would call it watu wanasemanga maringo, but Jacky used to laugh at me and she says, right now we know it's called manifestation. Me, I used to pretend. Mi ningechukua fungo ya babangu nitembe na hivi tao. Unambia, I have a car. I have a car. Like, I did not want poverty around me. Because I have lived it. And I don't want it. I do not want it at all. Even today, we usually say with Njoki, we shall not glorify poverty.
Amen.
We shall not. Because when I say, no. I don't want to go back where I was. I don't want to raise my children on ugali and tea only. And that is why I have to work extra hard. Nimeamua kupumzika itakuwa binguni. I have decided.
Upper you're grinding like nobody's business.
It's grinding, not letting anything or anyone. Let's start with anyone.
Before now your first marriage. In between upper, because now you live in your own place, at least life must have settled down. Now you feel like now you're open to ideas about dating. What was your the idea of a Kemodo?
Wacha nikuambie, at that particular point in life, being rich was my only, it was the only thing in my mind.
So if a rich man comes, it's a whole package.
Well, yeah. We had that. It was part of growing up. Yeah. But kulikuwa na kama dharau, kulikuwa kana come when you're dating a rich man, who's married, kulikuwa na kama dharau and you're like, I don't want, personally as Jacky nilikuwa najambia, no. But I had this college boyfriend who, yeah, we tried to nini, but hey, no.
What happened?
Because you see, for me, my agenda right now was being rich, yeah, living the life. And so all my life, I felt like I've not been loved. Enough. So when you find a man who loves you, for me I'm this kind of people who I love with all my heart. I will give you everything to my last coin, I'm that stupid. And so I attract such men. And so in college, I attracted such a man, and he was, his mom used to live in the States. And so he was used to be given. So when it comes to me, he's used to be given. Because there's a time he broke up with me. I'm at work. And he broke up with me. And later on, like in the middle of the day, mira nenda kwa lu, nalia, alafu narudi, napanga show. And then he texts me and I'm ujue tokens zimeisha. He's still in my house. He break up na mimi asubuhi, but he never left. Because Mel had to leave to go to work. He never left. He's still in my house.
Wait. This nigga broke up with you in your own house.
In my own house.
The audacity, God damn it. In your own kitchen.
In my own house. In my own
so
house. Unapanda mako unapanda mate alafu nachukua nini scarf. Back in the days tulikuwa tunapenda scarf. Ngachukua hiyo scarf hivi. Nalia hadi nafika Ngong Road Citizen. Yani it was It was man.
So how long did he stay in your house after the breakup?
Imagine even when I went home, I found him. When I went home, I found him, and I think that's when I just told him, you know what, you just have to leave, you just have to go. And I'd say life for me, I never had time to think of the ideal man or what I want. Ukinipata kwa jani yangu ya kukuwa na life poa na unionyeshe mapenzi tunaenda nayo. As in, I don't think, now that you have said it, I don't think I ever sat and said, this is the type of man. But I ever sat and said, because I was raised in a church, I have said, I'll be engaged. Unakumbuka back in the day watu walikuwa na engage mbele ya church.
Yeah, pale katikati ya worship.
Pale katikati ya worship. Pastor anaita nini, and today
you're all I want. Atuende worship leader tumefunga macho kwa in the spirit.
You know?
Unaambia fungua macho.
That's what I wanted. Like I had a book. I will not lie. I had a book of how I will graduate. After graduating, I'll be engaged in a church. After nini, I'll get married in a very big white wedding. Even I know the color scheme. Akina Njoki used to laugh at me because I had the color scheme. I even had how people are going to sit. and then kids and da-da-da and da-da-da. It's like God was looking at me.
For this and other jokes, SMS John 3:16.
Oh, my guardian angel was laughing, was having a blast. But do I regret how life unfolded? No. Do I learn from every mistake that I do? Yes. And so life became hard, especially now. Now I'm married. I'm married to finally a man that I do not have to ask. But now there's also a flip side on that. Now this man wants to stay home. Me ever since I was here, I've never stayed at home. Now you want me to be a mother, stay at home, which is a good thing for women. But now for people like us who tunajua hustle, me, I still have a vision. There's things I want. There was what I want. Now that's where now friction starts. And we were both young. We got married at 23. We got a child I got my daughter at 25. And so we were so young. And this juggling work, mother, wife, all these things. Because for me, as Jacky and being raised in a church, I knew being a wife is being submissive. Your husband should not eat chakula, house help. Your clothes, your room, those things they should be done. So I used to go to set at 5 a.m. So I used to wake up at 3 a.m. I make him breakfast, I cover it, I put it into a hot pot, chai, nini, I set it on the dining table and I go to work.
Jacky Matubia.
Jacky Matubia. Yeah. I used to, and then when I come back home, because set and home was very close. So I would probably, if we take a long break, if he's at home, I would probably run back home, prepare lunch, then go back to set, then the likes of being a wife. Yeah. And all this time, when we grew up, we never had people. Like, if kuna watu wenye nilisimamia harusi zao and I used to go to their homes and no one would tell you marriage is 1, 2, 3, marriage is like this, da, 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 da. You're just seeing, oh, they're so lovey-dovey. And it's what I would say, as we never had social media, but the people around us is what now the generation today have social media. For them, they see them holding hands, social media. Good morning. Oh, my love. Nini, nini, nini. As we saw it in churches. You get what I'm saying? As we saw it in churches. And you were like, that's the kind of love I want. But the truth be told,
there are a lot of fake marriages in church.
A lot.
Afadhali club unaonanga couple wakilewa wanapigana.
I swear.
Twende home. Ndio uende silale kuangalia mamalaya wako. But church, you're like, praise the Lord. My wife. And different they've been hugging the whole night.
Hallelujah. Today we have a testimony. The Holy Spirit came to us yesterday and said we need to conceive a child. Hallelujah. And so I called Pastor at 3 a.m. and I told Pastor. And you're like, that's the kind of love I want. And I held my wife and I told my wife, let's kneel on the side of the bed. And we knelt.
And conceived.
And we told God, Jehovah, Lord, I bless my woman's womb. And guys, I want to thank today, as we stand today, we want to thank the Lord. 2 months later.
Shut up. But then now it's hitting me. That is actually very true.
Yes.
We have more real marriages in the clubs.
Yes.
Than in the church.
Anywhere else. Anywhere else. In churches, I'm telling you, I'm to a pastor. My stepdad is a pastor. And I grew up in that. I wanted, ile una grow up unajambia, mimi lazima nikue praise and worship. Yo team lazima niingie, ndio iko na wasichana warembo.
Nimeimba kwa
Kaleche, Shafi. Na nikashinda
1,000. What is your alpha?
And we grew up in a very different generation than this generation. Those are the kind of people we looked up to. The pastors, we knew our pastors and akina mom. They never what? They never fought. They never argued. And we knew marriage is about not arguing. Marriage is about you being submissive. Because you will see the mom, we used to call the wife's pastor mom. Utona mom ameenda amebebea pastor Bible yake kaka handkerchief, akiitwa hapo mbele before pastor akanyange hapo, mom lazima aende na Bible aekele handkerchief hapo na kamaji, you get?
Nah, me to the angel over this house.
And this is what we saw and grew up. And me, that's what I wanted. As Jacky, that's what I knew. That's the only thing I knew about love. I never knew, Ati, I want tall, dark, and handsome. No. I just wanted a man. And so with growing up for both of us, because even him, he just cleared high school and went to flying school and kuna face ya life tuliskip. Now me growing into churches, I never did clubbing. Unajua tulikuwa nashinda tu Jesus night. Sijui tunaenda wapi kukunywa, by the way tulianza kukunywa sijui 25, 26.
Ndio mimi nilikuwa nakunywa chini ya maji. Unajua mimi nilikuwa ghetto mbaya. Unajua ana blueprint yangu. Ambia na church. Hata kesho nilikuwa maji mbaya.
Sisi tulianza kukunywa at 25.
I went clean this year from January when I rededicated my life back to Christ now fully, and now that I'm back into full kingdom service. You started drinking at 25.
Yeah.
I had just drunk for 20 years.
What? Yeah. I think men and women, we tend to, because for me, I felt like doing these all things, it's a sin. It was very hard for me to adapt to that nature of drinking. And so life fast forward, I struggled so much, especially trying to get now my life back, like trying to get the Jacky Matubia. Actually, that time I was not even Jacky Matubia, the Jolene that people knew. And I worked, like I was even, there's a time I used to tell God, having a child was a curse. Because I'm trying to go back to auditions. I'm doing this, nothing is working. I can't go back to the person that yes, Ukwinje, you're very famous, but you're jobless. And don't get me wrong, my ex-husband at the time was very, very supportive. I had a car. I was driving. He bought me a car. We were living in a nice house. He used to provide everything, including at Pesaya pads. Nothing. Yangu, for me, it was nothing. But there's just that calling, like I felt I just want to go back and work. Like I feel like my mind, I've put my life on pause for this person. So anyway, fast forward, we did, that's when Philip was born. Philip production. So Abel, Philip, Kate, Izare, Njugush, and I, and Sele and Judy. And that's where we came up with Philip production. And yeah, we juggled, we tried to do what we had to do, but at the end of the day, life moves on. And so the reason why even I quit my job is now life was hard at home. We were fighting, we were da-da-da-da-da. Now I felt like I'm failing as a wife. I need to stop this work and now be a wife. And unfortunately or fortunately, it did not work. And there was a lot of fighting. It was 7 years of back and forth. You pack, you go, you come, you go pack, the life. And so one day I looked at myself in the mirror and I asked myself, what makes Jacky happy? How you look right now, are you happy with your body? What you do right now, are you happy? Are you happy as a mom to Zari? Are you happy raising this child in such chaos? Because chaos became our life. Tusipo fight, tuko na kasoro. Like unakaa unajambia, the whole day mtu hajanitusi malaya. Acha nimtafutie kitu. You get what I'm saying? It was part of, and now it started becoming like a norm, like this is how love should be, this is how marriage should be.
I was having a conversation with a lady friend of mine in Kisumu the other day, and I was telling her, with my experience, of course, with my past 2 failed marriages, of which I'm not embarrassed about. I like how guys have tried attacking me with that.
Yeah, I don't know why people try.
But I'm like, yo,
happily failed too.
You have your own battles that right? We don't know. Yeah. So simply because I'm in the public, and you have privy to what's about mine. So you fight your own. These are my battles.
True.
And I told them that at times you might come from a place of so much chaos. And you get used to coming from a place of so much chaos that the day something good comes,
you do not know how to handle it.
You don't know how to handle it. So you prefer going
to the
back.
Toxic. Yes. Because even growing up, if we look back to both of our lives, they're more or less the same.
Yeah.
That life of being toxic was what we grew up
You're
in.
telling me you talk about you and Boba. I'm thinking about me and Nika. And I'll be like, sijambiwa leo niko na maboys wangu na mamalaya.
Unaget?
And the whole time niko na Burale, niko na Abel. The whole time we chill somewhere, but I'm told, hey, so maboys zake wamwambia pana maselebota o cheat. So ofua kwa mahali. So until the day that I left, the day that I told I'm leaving, is the day that I was actually going to cheat for the first time. So I went all the way from Great Hall to Ronga. Nikaingia hapo, nikatoa boxers. I had a hard on. I said, let's do this. This is what I've been accused of. I was like, nah. So I went back to actually leave. So then now I can do it. You get?
Yeah.
And I realized over the years, Nikki Paradigm, I'm a relax.
You're being unable to cut the whole day. Sasa utaanza fight ya. Yani hata huwezi niongelesha the whole day. Yani that's the mechanism.
I get
and
you.
I would say this is the thing that people are doing right now. Yeah. Especially when it comes to social media. So when I left that marriage, I was such a bad friend to my friends. I was toxic. I was toxic. I knew what Jacky wants is the right way. Because I knew that I am right. I am fighting for myself. I'm fighting for my child. So I was a bad friend. I was bad. And don't get me wrong. This relationship didn't break up because one person did bad. Even me, I did my wrongs, you know. But the problem with this generation, especially with the social media generation, is we are not sitting back and accepting. We also had a hand in it.
Yes.
And then we're not taking time to heal. So what did I do? We have that hurry of, I want to show you I can move on. I want to show social media. I want to show social media that napendwa, siwezi kaa, as in I'm that it girl. So what do? You get into another relationship unhealed. Get? So you move from this toxic and you bring into this other relationship. And trust you me, for me, my wake-up call was my second marriage. I wouldn't call it a marriage because we never really went. My first marriage was marriage. We had a whole divorce and all that. This was just, and I remember the first time, there's a time I told him, I do not want marriage. I was very clear. I do not want anything that walking down the aisle. And I would say our issue started when I was engaged because I said I was very specific. Oof. You get it? I was very specific on the fact that I don't think
so even the engagement, you didn't want it.
I did not want it.
And you made it clear.
And I made it clear. So that's when, then having a child, like for me, I told myself that I will sit back and take time. So when I got Zendaya, like when I really got Zendaya, like I'm telling you, kwa hiyo place ya kuzaa, your delivery room, when I got Zendaya, my eyes opened. Like, like there was like
a twilight.
Like there was light. My eyes opened and I constantly kept on asking myself, is this the kind of life you want to live again? Over and over again. Raising children out of love, being bitter about this. I have done it before. I have done it raising a daughter by myself. What is two? And so I remember I fought with that because for me, listen, what I was fighting most of, it's not me, it's what will people say? And that is a very big state. Your sentence, inakwanga kubwa sana, especially for this generation. What will people say? Nita trend, nita fanya nini? People wataniambia, oh. And I told God, I will not lie to you guys. I sat down and I told God, I want to work on myself. I want to work on myself. And I want to work on myself so the day I will enter into this storm, I will not be shaken. I will not be shaken. I will stand firm. And because I know there's going to be a storm.
It's always going to be.
It is always going to be a storm. And so I started working on myself. I started loving myself more. I started loving my children more. Because listen, when you when you get into a relationship with someone and you already have a child that's not this person's child, you tend to take away the attention from your firstborn child and focus on the man.
True.
Everything you were giving your first child. And I could see the fear that my daughter used to have. And I could see it, and I was so heartbroken. And I was like, what the hell am I doing? What the hell? And it's the same thing that my mom used to do.
The cycle is repeating.
The cycle is repeating itself. And I'm like, what am I doing? Because now the attention is to the new man. The attention is to the new baby.
Okay.
What about this child? She's also my child.
Mm.
And so I told God, I want to work on myself. I want to work on myself. I want to be the better version of myself. I want to be the best mom. Like, I even tell my friends, when I die, I want you guys to write, I don't want accolades of best actress. She was a good mom. We were raised, we had mothers, but our mothers my mom chose to run away because she was told she had an ugly child. My mom chose not to want me because she had a grudge with my dad. I got this mark, I don't know why it's because of the grudge my mom and my dad had. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
We had mothers, yes. And now what are we doing in our age? Tunalipia with black tax. You want to, oh my God, I want my mom to have a better life. But if she thought of me then and say, I want my child to have a better life, I would not singekuwa nalipia Kenya nalipia sai. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
So I told myself, I want to work, I want to be a better mom. Live hizi vitu zingine. Because when it's all said and done, it's about my children.
This is my legacy.
This is my legacy. This is all I have. This is all I have in this world. It's all I have.
Yesterday, I took Debbie, Debbie's graduation.
Mm-hmm.
And after Nick and I separated, I looked at that girl. I don't think I've ever felt so in love with my daughter over the years than that.
Mm-hmm.
And I told myself, oh my goodness, I brought somebody into the world.
Imagine.
And I'm responsible for this kid. And if I don't love her, and if I don't show her what a man is supposed to be,
yeah,
then she will never have a better reference.
She will go looking. That's what we girls do. We go looking. So we get in and out of relationships. We are abused because when you're abused in a relationship, you're like, this is love. Imagine he took time to beat me. Imagine.
This is attention.
Manze amenipatia attention leo manze. Amenita umbwa lakini guy. Ameniita.
At least. Kuna mambo wale mdogo
you know. Kuna siku anakuja aende aoge atoke. But leo manze ameniangalia. Akaniita umbwa. And this is what this generation is dealing with. And I said, no. And you see what you're saying about loving? As mothers, we wake up. We are broke. There's sometimes we are broken. Hata sina hope ya leo. Yani leo, hata sitaki kuona mwangaza. I have zero zeal in me to live today. And then you see your kids going to school. I mean, you see them talking. You just hear them talking. And you umejifungia kwa room. I'm like, no matter what storm, I have to wake up. Because them, at this particular point, Debbie knows daddy is the best. You're the best with your shortcomings. Should I know your shortcomings? Should I know what probably school fees struggle kulipa? Hajui, anajua me, my dad is the best. Imagine disappointing such a child.
You know, I left there and I kissed Faith. And I looked at her in the face. I told her, Dad loves you. I looked at Debbie and told her, Dad is proud of you.
Mm.
I made a phone call all the way to Kisii.
Mm.
And I had to video call Aisley. I told Christine, give Aisley the phone.
Mm.
And as much as at 4 years, she could not feel what Dad was feeling.
Mm.
But I just said, you know what? I don't care what happened between their moms and I.
Exactly.
But I never want these kids to ever think there was no, if they ever find ungenuine love, let them know at least there was
At
one
least.
genuine man
Exactly.
who loved
Who
them.
loved me. And you see, we kind of interact with people and unasikia stories zao, unasema, me, my father was bad, but at the end of the day, we lived well.
Bad but lived well.
Bad, but we lived well. Ama yeah, uko hapo unaambia venye ulienda uka like okay, me don't talk to my paros, but me I don't know that kind of life. So you as a grown up, I usually tell myself and I tell people around me, you made a choice to have this child. This child never at any given point
Never sent a mail,
as
never
a matter of
DM'd.
fact, angeulizwa, angesema aolewe kwa Trump, familia Trump yenye wana, like angeulizwa. And so that was me with Zendaya. When I told the dad to go, he left. And in my head, this is not my first time to raise a child out of marriage and co-parent. And I fought. God knows I fought. Mimi na kiburi yangu. I fought for the dad to be in the daughter's life. But he didn't. And you cannot force a man.
Yeah,
you cannot. You cannot. You cannot. Ama ati wasichana ati unapata ball ati ndio ufunge mwanaume. Utaleo mtoto wako peke yako. And I tried. Because I see what it does to my other daughter for the dad. And we are very, by the Babazari, we are very good friends. It rubs all the fighting, and this is the only, a man that loves the child, a man that is there for the child no matter what. For me, scratch everything that I went through with him. What matters right now is the relationship between the dad and the mom and the child. And so I fought for this, and I was like, I can only do much. And I remember when I went and begged and Dada, I got into my car and I cried and I cried and I cried and I told God, when I was formed in my mother's womb, you knew I will have a child called Zendaya. And I will be the mother and father to this child. And at that particular point in my life, that was 2023. 2023 was the hardest year of my life. I was winning out here. Oh my Lord, I was winning. But in those closed doors, I was dying. And I told God, Mara, nimeamka asubuhi, blogs. Jacky Matubia and her friend, mekosana. Oh, sijui what. Oh, Jacky Matubia. Oh, huyu endo ako na shida. And sometimes I was fighting not to read those comments. But now when it's been discussed in groups that you're in, other groups za estate, it broke me. I'm like, oh, huyu ameachwa. Shida ni yeye. 2 marriages. Na watoto wawili. Shida ni yeye.
I'm sorry.
Na hiyo mdomo yake. And so it used to break. Kidogo friendship. Yani it used to break me every single day. I used to wake up and I tell God, mbona sijalala. Yani nilikuwa naomba tu nilale na nilale forever. Yani every night I used to sleep and tell God, please, take me. But ukinje, I just got my new show. I'm back on TV. I'm the lead. Nimekewa nimenominatiwa. I was winning. But in closed doors, I was dying.
You're losing yourself.
I'm losing. I am failing. Kwanza there's, and now I get it when I sit and I used to get into my house and I see Zendaya. I was not resenting my child because I hated her. I was resenting her because I failed. I used to ask myself, yani Jacky, you didn't learn. You did not. Ukaona umchagulie. Because mi ndo nilichagua. Nimchagulie baba mwenye hamtaki. And so, and I used to see all these people insulting me, and I'm like, guy, I wish you knew. And I used to feel like I don't want, and I'll forever be thankful to my nanny. Because that woman knew what I was going through. And she took care of Zendaya, because I feel like I could not be able to take care of Zendaya. Because I'm coming to terms that mimi nimezoea kusaidiwa na uba baby daddy wangu mwingine. Sasa huyu ni kila kitu. When I say kila kitu, even the love, it's just coming from one parent. Leave material things. love, assurance, care, protection. One parent. And these are things that the dad is the one supposed to provide. And I told myself, I am done. I am done proving myself to people who don't know me. I am done. The only person I need to prove to is my children.
So I need to be the best version
The mommy
of me.
is, her mental state is perfect to raise us. So I have to be the best version of me. And I worked on myself. I stayed celibate. I didn't want anything.
For how long?
For now, almost 3 years now. I didn't want anything. I didn't want any man. Joking.
Where? 3 years. From bad girl to celibate. Yeah.
I do want, like, honestly, hata nakumbuka, Njoki used to try and get me out. Like, she used to come to my house and be like, today we are going out. Vahi. Ama after shoot, she will tell me. So I'll tell her, I'm going home. Because for me, I felt like my bedroom was my...
This is my confinement.
Hata ningenda out, I was so awkward. Her friends used to tell her, oh, dem, oh, celeb, the beshte yako anashinanga tu kwa simu. Hapendi watu ama.
And I mean, it's Jacky, Madam Attitude, so I mean...
I mean, I'm
it's
easily...
not like you're shorting us with who you are.
Yeah, I'm easily judged very quickly because I have a resting bitch face. And I'm like, nasema, na interact na ambia tu nini? I'm seeing people are having... Like, people are genuinely happy. I am not happy. I cannot be happy. I was not drinking. I was... Like, nilijiambia, for me to get out from this hole, I have to feel every ounce of chungu. I have to feel it. To feel it. Because what we cover the pain with is with alcohol, sleeping around, partying day in, day out. But when you sit and just be truthful to yourself, inauma.
January mpaka nikajipata hiyo place ya Jacob na God. That I will not leave you until subaya asubuhi nambe God tutapigana. Lazima tumeka covenant. Hii ni ya pili imeanguka. Niambie shida iko wapi? God akaniambia kwanza unapenda pombe. Kwa hivyo pombe lazima iende. Number 2 unapenda nyashi. So nikamwambia God fine. Nileted them bright. Ametulia, ana akili na akili yake ni kubwa inatosha na nyashi yake. God akanichapa surprise nikamwambia pombe basi. And so this is when I sit down and I tell men you can actually be faithful.
You can.
I never knew
you would.
You get? I would confound the notion of minimum lawyer. And the lawyer men, we are made for this world. So if I sit and say, my God, I've only slept with one since February, and it's been the woman next to me. And yes, the women who I chat with, and when I see they pull that conversation, I hyper. I'm like, when you come from a place of self-realization and self-actualization, then you redefine your values. Then it actually works for you.
It does.
Then I found actually being faithful is cheap.
You were wasting a lot of money.
Trust me, cheating in Nairobi is expensive. Oh my goodness. Cheating in Nairobi is not cheap.
I can imagine.
Nah, but I'm okay. So I love the place of, and I love what you've said. You want it to be present in every pain. You want it to be Nico.
Every pain. I wanted to be sober enough to remember that pain. And I was not crying because he left. And that's the thing, baby Kenyans. I was not heartbroken because he left. Because as a woman, before you leave a situation, for real, kabla utoke, ulikuwa usha break up nayo, kitambo, ni kujigatha unajigatha ukitoka. So for me, before I gave birth to my daughter, I had already decided this is not working. Because I'm already seeing, a lot of things happen in our relationship. And so I was crying because I was mad at myself. I failed this little girl. All she did is just be born.
Appear.
That's all. And I failed her. And I have to be sober enough to go through the pain and realize myself, because there's a time she will stand and ask me questions. Like, mommy, I see my sister with the dad. Such questions.
Mm.
And I want to be brave enough and courageous enough to answer her with zero malice. I do not want to insult the dad. I do not want to, all these things. And so I worked on myself. And honestly, I'd say sometimes it's good to go through the pain. And I'm telling you guys, I have gone through the pain when I'm broke.
Both
with
pain.
my first child, tulianza maisha na duvet chini, tunalala tunata mattress.
From Imara. Lessons.
And lessons. And then right now, by the way, I am in a mansion. Oof. I am living life.
Winning.
You're winning out here, but you're dying inside. And it's still the same pain. So what you do is you work on it. And I would say I've worked on it, and I always go for giving my children the best. Musema, once you get a child as a mother, I don't know about men, but once you get a child as a mom, it's no longer about you. Wewe nini yako ya kulive iliisha when you decided to have this child. So whatever you get, whatever you work for, is for these children. Probably if I was by myself, ka one bedroom, nimeka pimp vizuri. Why would I do 5 jobs in a day? What's the point? Sini tumbo yangu tunalisha. What's the point? You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
And if I wanted a man to buy me a car, it would be like this, because I have nothing else to live for. It's just me. And now you have children.
You got to think about
You have to think, okay, hii nimefika dead end. You have to have multiple needs of income, because you have insurance, you have rent, you have school fees, you have nannies, you have a car for them to go to school that you need to fuel every day and pay the driver. You have all these things. Na umewaonyesha hii lifestyle.
Na uwezi utekloa.
Hakuna venye utawapeleka loa. And you always have to prepare yourself for tomorrow and the future. As a single mother, I usually tell single women, we thank God for the ones that take care of their children. But the same struggles as a human being and a Kenyan I am going through is the same thing that the man that was helping you raise their child, your child, is going through. Pesa yu katika. Jobs yuisha. But pia una need kuketi chini ufikirie. Like for me, watu wananiambianga, kotini nilienda. I was bitter. I wanted this person to suffer. Nikaona Jacky Matubia, utakuwa unamka every 5th of every month kubomb blast mtu simu yake for 20,000. Surely. Is your child worth 20,000? Is your child worth the fight? Not your 20,000. Is it worth what this person is going to spend, this child is going to spend for that 1 month?
It's not even enough.
You keep hurting yourself over and over and over and over again. Hakuna haja. When you focus on yourself and tell God, baby, Mr. Sami ni single mother, ulijua. Take the wheels sasa. Mimi nitaka hapa back left. Mtoto wangu lazima akule, mtoto wangu lazima aende shule, mtoto wangu lazima avae, all these things. And trust you me, God finds a way. Si usema single mothers hawakosangi. But pia, kuna wenye unaketi hapo kazi yako ni God helps those who help themselves.
God doesn't work in a vacuum.
Yes, you can't ati umelia the whole day kwa kitanda sasa. Hata kuangushia pesa. Sometimes we usually have, as human beings, we always have our breaking points. Kuna time tu leo unasikia tu ulie. And this is what we do with my friends. I'll call Jacky, I'm like, are you in a space? Like, I can come? She's like, yeah, come. Tutenda kwa bedroom, tulie 5 minutes. After I'm getting sa twende job. Because that is what life is. I can't spend the whole day crying and complaining. I only have 5 minutes. Take your 5 minutes. Cry. Complain. Scream. Then do something about it. And that's what single mothers need to understand. Because utakuta mtu anamka atashinda hapa umerushiana matusi kwa WhatsApp. For what? For 10,000. Pesa ukijisukuma kia Mungu siku hata yezi ishaka ujapata.
You have spoken to the single moms today.
Yeah.
You have given them hope. And to basically to all the ghetto girls, I think this was a hope story for them.
Yeah.
That you have to rise up every single day. Because I like the way you say the storm is always going to be there.
It's going to be.
So you better make yourself strong. Not to avoid the storm, but when the storm comes.
As long as we have the life, as long as we are living in this world, problems will always be there. It's not like Dr.Ofweneke and I tumeketi hapa tuna problem. Tuko na mashida chungu mzima. As long as you're living, there'll always be problem. There's always be a storm. Seta mungoje uone hii episode. Bloggers, Jacky Matubia. There's always going to be a storm. There's always going to be a storm. But always be strong enough to be grounded. Always be strong enough to be empowered for that storm. That's what I would say.
I got you, Mama. You know I'm always team you.
Yes.
That you know for sure.
For sure. 100.
Ladies and gentlemen, lessons are 30. Our guest lecture on the show today, Jacky Matubia. And I think this has been more about a story of falling, rising, dusting, rising, falling, dusting yourself, rising. And number 2, moms. I think God has brought you an angel today. Forever, as a single mom, whatever you're going through today, the judgment of the society, the judgment from your family, the self-judgment of yourself, and thinking that yes, this is the least and this is the last of me, myself, and I can't rise from this. You are looking at a clear, beautiful structure of somebody who has worked on herself, and here she is. Falling and rising. I love how that is the story.
Yeah, that's the story.
Unangalia unasema hapana, Jacky tuamke tena.
Manze. Because me, I always say, I've said this so many times. Unajua akunanga past rock bottom. Ukifika rock niyo. So ni either udecide uketi hapo, ukunywe maji, ufaint, uanguke, ukufe, ama tu. The only option is to get up and you start now climbing.
Let's get up again.
Yes. Ukifika rock, mimi naambianga mtu ananiambia niko rock, now that's the best place to be.
No.
Ukiwa hapo, sasa it's up to you to decide. Are you going to get up, dust yourself, and start climbing up again? Or utaketi hapo, allow yourself, ukufe. That's the only place you have 2 options in life.
Lesson the 3rd, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, subscribe to Dr.Ofweneke TV. Brought to you, of course, by Maybets. And the host himself, the ego dressed by, of course, by Adira Collections. Yeah, manze. Lazima mwanaume ni look, by the way. Mwanaume ni look. Inafunika vitu mingi sana. Mwanaume lazima uchape look. Learn to reward yourself as men. Get yourself a shoe, get yourself a shirt, a belt, a nice cologne. Get yourself looking good. Mwanaume ni look. Make sure you remember that. So Adira Collections, thank you so much for that. Jacky, I appreciate.
Thank you so much for having me.
I don't take this for granted.
So much for having me.
And my prayer can only be that now it's upwards, onwards.
Yes.
It's winning all the way.
It's always winning all the way.
Waiting for your next nomination.
Oh, yes.
Your next...
my next movie.
Lead, we're waiting for that.
Yes.
Thank you, Mami.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Guys, bye-bye. And of course, the next episode, our next episode is episode 1, season 2. This is Lessons at 30. Bye-bye.